Hindi, writings for young adults, writings for children, and celebrate the best books that have been written in the last calendar year. One of the USPs of Value of Words is that rather than select books at random, rather than select books because some publisher wants you to have a book or because some sponsor wants you to have a book, our selection criterion for books is very, very transparent and very, very clear. All books which are published in the last calendar year, that is all books for this year, for example, all books which were published from 1st January 2020 to December 2020 are eligible for consideration for the Value of Words PFC Book Awards. And we have a very distinguished jury for English non-fiction. It was ex-Governor K.K. Paul, who was the Governor of Uttarakhand and a keen supporter of the Value of Words. He headed that jury. The jury for English fiction was headed by Dr. Anjan Ray. He is currently the DDG HR at the CSIR Labs and also the director of the Institute of Petroleum, but an avid scholar and earlier a professor and journalist. Mr. Jerry Pinto, a very well-known translator and author, headed the jury for translations from Bhashas to English. And in Hindi, we had Dr. Jayavanti Dimri, a scholar of the Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, look at books in Indian languages translated into Hindi. We had Dr. Sushil Upadhyay and Dr. Dinesh Chamola look at books in Hindi, fiction and non-fiction respectively. And for the young adults writing, we had Ratna Manucha and we had Jyoti Dhawan to look into writings for children, that is 5 to 9. So we look at all age groups, I mean from writings from the age of 5 to authors who are 95, so it's a long range, 9 decades of people and beyond, come within this ambit. So we were doing 5 knowledge verticals. We were doing English, Hindi, and history of science. And of course, the question came up that being in Dehradun, 2 new verticals were added which are not there in a literature festival. One is military history strategy and the second is on environment and ecology. The reason being that Dehradun is actually the hub of a lot of cerebral activity in the country. Of course, the IAS Academy is there, of which fortunately I was the director there at that institute and I've served that institute for many years earlier as well. So that's where a lot of thinking on how the policy making of the country should happen. You have, as far as the army is concerned, not only do we have the IMA, we have the National Hydrographic Office, we have the Survey of India, and we have a host of other institutions which are committed to and connected with the defense of the country. The IMA itself is a place of great historicity. We've had Clement Town, we've had so many arrangements, so many institutional things which are there. A lot of our NDC graduates are settled in Dehradun. So it was felt there is a strategic community in Dehradun which is interested, and that's how we started having military history and strategy sessions in the Value of Words. And from the very first year itself, the USI and Squadron Leader Chinna, specifically, like to acknowledge him, has been associated with us. And every year we take up one theme or the other. It could have been, it was the world wars, then we looked at the surveys, we looked at the Dogras, we looked at the history of the Dogras, we looked at how do we integrate military history in schools. Shiv Kunal here, he was helping us in these curations. But this year, thanks to COVID, we had to move out to all the cities because no city can have a gathering of more than 70 people at any point of time. And you can't really curate such a big literature festival for only 70 people. So we decided to move out, and the first port of call, of course, had to be USI because this is where the military history and strategy sessions were being planned earlier. And the advantage now is that we have full 2 days to think upon, to deliberate upon 1971, and with the coming in of General Pannu, whom I had the pleasure of interacting with when we were doing the JCM course at the LBS Academy. Let me tell you something about the JCM course. After the Kargil War, the Vora Committee felt that it's very important that civil servants, army generals, naval officers, BSF IGs, IGs of the Coast Guard, they all get together for at least 1 week or 2 weeks and sit in a place and discuss things out of the box. Not just look at their silos, but look at how things will happen. How does the BSF, for instance, look at the income tax? How does the income tax look at a diplomat? What does the diplomatic corps think about policemen? So this was the course that was happening, and General Pannu came in, I think, February 2019. February 2019, he came in as the Deputy Chief of Integrated Staff. to address the course, and we sort of hit it on very well. We still hit along very well, and so we then did 4 JCMs together, and then we started collaborating. And after his superannuation, we invited him, and he was very kind to join the board of governors of the Value of Words. And so this year's curation of 2-day curation of Bangladesh, the 1971 war, the war which led to, and we are so glad. Please put our hands together. We have with us Colonel Sajjad, Bir Pratik, Padma Shri, a great war hero. Thank you very much, sir, for coming to us all the way from Bangladesh. We'll soon be hearing from him. And I just learned that he's also penned a book on Albert Akka. I mean, so that's what shows the great spirit that we have on this thing. Now, after this, the festival will move to Baroda, where we'll be looking at the Hindi fiction and Hindi non-fiction. So over 10 sessions, we'll be discussing the 10 best books in Hindi fiction and non-fiction. That will be at Baroda, the National Railway Staff College. It's an iconic building of the Maharaja of Baroda. That's where the festival will move. After that, the festival will go to Calcutta, where we'll be talking about English fiction and non-fiction. There we're doing it at the Bengal Club. Then we move on to the Hyderabad, the MCHRDI, the M. Channa Reddy Institute of Human Resource Development. We were looking at the writings for young adults, and as well as translations from Indian languages into English. That we are involving the Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages there. And finally, of course, our good old Dehradun. Dehradun is the place where we'll be having a full-day workshop on the history of science in the country. Because science, both traditional science and modern science, the contribution of Indian scientists to our past science and to the global science scenario is something that we'll cover there, along with writings for children, along with translations from Indian languages to bhashas. We do a very interesting program called Wow Populi, where we get the MPs and ex-MPs to debate on a subject which is interesting and which they can discuss across party lines. Because if you have a subject which is on which the party lines are very clear, then there can be no debate. So we've had debates on things like whether English is also an Indian language. We've had a discussion on whether the best debates occur outside of parliament. Now, these are things on which the Congress and the BJP and the Trinamool and the Akali Dal, they can talk beyond the thing. And we also feel that it's very important. I mean, the point which General Sharma made. One of our thoughts is that dialogues must continue. That the intergenerational, intergenre, we must discuss. I mean, things, we need military. Of course, military is very important, but along with military, along with strength, it's very important to engage. And that's been a journey which the Value of Words has been doing. And Value of Words also celebrates new books that are written. And today, in the Fitness of Things, we have two new books that are being launched. In fact, both these books are being launched here for the first time. Prabal tells me that although this book was published last year, most of it has been virtual because through webinars, and it's not that webinars are not nice and important, because webinars give an outreach which is, Prabal, why don't you come up on the stage? I'm sorry, I forgot to, I thought you'll just be coming. Please come up. So Prabal got in touch with us last year, and so we're very delighted that he's going to be talking about the 1967, a war about which we've nearly forgotten. And after that, Shiv's books are also on their way. I think, Shiv, the books should be coming here anytime. But even if they don't come, he's a living, talking, walking encyclopedia by himself. He'll talk about the book, and by the time the tea break is there, the book will also certainly be there. Without much ado, therefore, may I request Prabal to speak about his book for about 5 minutes, and then formally we'll request General Sharma to launch the book. Please join us here. So let's welcome Prabal.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev Chopra, and thank you, General Pannu, General Sharma, and all of you. It's a privilege and an honor to be here amongst eminent and distinguished guests here. And as Mr. Chopra just said, that the book was released in 2020 February, and we all thought that this is something that we'll read going further. However, to our utter disappointment, the world changed in March. However, thereafter what happened was quite different, because there was an India-China standoff, and the book that everyone turned to at that point of time was this book on a forgotten victory of 1967, two successive battles on the watershed along the Sikkim-Tibet border. That time, Sikkim was not a part of India. But this book, which talks about two redemptive victories of 1967, suddenly became a focal point. We were talking about it everywhere. But the journey started in 2017 when I was talking with an author friend of mine, and and he mentioned that during the Doklam standoff, as you would remember in 2017, he spoke about how the India-China history goes back to 1962. And he said the last time India and China had a confrontation, India came second best. I corrected him. I told him that 5 years later, India changed the history between the two nations. I realized at that point of time that most people were, for some reason, had not been informed or hadn't read much about the two battles, which actually set the tone of India-China relations to follow. Then I decided to write the book, and the journey started. It finally finished in 2020 when it was released. Watershed 1967, I would just take a few minutes. I know we have a brief time here in terms of the events to follow. There are many. So I would just talk about a couple of things here. Watershed 1967, why was it important then? Because it kind of changed the narrative. It reset and re-established the India-China narrative 5 years after India had suffered setbacks in 1962. What it also did, that it wrested the psychological advantage in favor of India from China, courtesy the bravery and valor of infantry battalions there, such as 10 Jackrif, 711 Gurkha Rifles, 2nd Grenadiers, the Artillery Regiment, and several other army units that were there, under the leadership of General Sagat Singh, one of our bravest generals post-independence. Watershed 1967 also established, it was a historical, geographical, and political watershed. So when I was writing the book, somebody asked me, what is the title of your book? I said, Watershed, because it was fought on the watershed. It was a geographical watershed as well. And historically, it was a watershed because post-1967, India-China confrontations ended for over half a century, barring the one incident that happened in 1975 when an Indian patrol was ambushed. So 67, in more ways than one, changed the course of history that followed. And the playbook of 1967 was replayed or reinitiated at Somdurungchu 20 years later in 1987. So lots of things happened post 67, and you go back to 1967 as the marker and therefore the watershed. The link to 1971 that we would be discussing over the course of next 2 days, today and tomorrow, the link of 1967 to 71 is that there was an important player, China, which did not interfere in the 1971 war. And the reasons for that rests on 3 pegs. 3 important reasons are there. And one we know very much is the Indo-Soviet Treaty that happened in 1971, in which an Article 9, was agreed upon between India and the Soviet Union, that any third party attacking the 2 signatories to the treaty would face opposition from the other signatory of the treaty. So India benefited from the Indo-Soviet Treaty that was signed. The second part was that in 1967, the Chinese had suffered 2 successive defeats at Nathula and Chola, followed by defeat against the then Soviet Union along the banks of the Ussuri River in 1969. What followed thereafter was that Mao indulged in purges of generals of his army in 1970, which meant that the Chinese army or the political system wasn't very much confident of going forward in 1971. All of these, in aggregation, added to the reasons of why an important player such as China did not interfere in the 1971 war. One of the underrated reasons that I also talk about in the book is the fact that in 1965, as all attention was garnered by the Indo-Pak War on the Western Front, China was knocking the doors of Sikkim on the Eastern Front. General Sagat, despite all pressures to pull back from Nathula, did not do so. He held off all pressures and stayed put at Nathula. What that meant was that post-67, the Chinese did not have the chance to roll down to Sikkim and cut India off at the Siliguri corridor, which would have been disastrous in the 1971 war. If you take your mind back to the Siliguri corridor, it's 22 kilometers wide at the maximum. So that would have been disastrous. And these are underrated reasons, underrated incidents and decisions which proved to be decisive in history. There are many such instances and historical events that are there, which we hope to discover in times to come. And I'm happy to be here talking about Watershed 1967, which became a historical event. And we are remembering that event and through the course of the book, and happy to be here. Thank you very much. And we'll look forward to the sessions over the next couple of days.